The Amazing Spider-Man 1977. Long before Sam Raimi's 2002 adaptation, there was another live-action Spider-Man, the 1977 version. As surprising as it may sound, this wasn't a fan film but an official TV pilot that was later turned into a movie. In this lesser-known version, Spider-Man faces off against an evil self-help guru, truly a product of the 70s. Originally screened in foreign theaters, it wasn't even intended for a cinematic release and only reluctantly made its way to VHS. This obscure start gave Spider-Man one of the most unglamorous beginnings in live-action history. Spider-Man Strikes Back 1978 followed the unexpected success of the original Spider-Man TV movie, which was so popular it led to a full series and even a film sequel. Episodes from the TV show were re-edited and released outside the US as this film. In Spider-Man Strikes Back, the web-slinger becomes more public with his heroics, making headlines and drawing attention. This piques the interest of a sharp-witted reporter, Gail Hoffman, who is determined to get the inside scoop on Spider-Man, and maybe even get a little closer to the man behind the mask. Spider-Man 2002. The 2002 Spider-Man was a massive cinematic project that took 17 years to bring to life. Interestingly, iconic director James Cameron came very close to making his own version in the 90s. He even wrote a 57-page scriptment outlining his vision, and Spidey's co-creator, Stan Lee, gave his approval. However, Carolco Pictures' bankruptcy halted those plans. The changes didn't stop there. Dr. Octopus was initially set to be the villain, but screenwriter David Koepp ultimately introduced the Green Goblin when Sony took over production. Director Sam Raimi then stepped in to bring the web-slinger to the big screen. Spider-Man 2, 2004 is often hailed as one of the best superhero films ever, but many fans might be surprised by some of the unusual ideas behind its making. Initially, Doc Ock was supposed to team up with the Green Goblin in the first film, but with so many plot elements already in play, director Sam Raimi decided to save Doc Ock for the sequel. Tobey Maguire almost didn't return for Spider-Man 2 due to concerns over a back injury he sustained during filming. At one point, Jake Gyllenhaal was lined up to replace him, but Maguire ultimately came back, and even performed most of his own stunts. Spider-Man 3, 2007, the final film in Sam Raimi's trilogy, grossed an impressive $890.9 million worldwide, making it the highest-grossing film of the series. However, with a $250 million budget, it was also one of the most expensive films ever made. Between groundbreaking CGI, shooting on location in New York at a staggering $1 million per day, and extensive reshoots, many industry experts estimate the final production costs to have exceeded $350 million. The visual effects for Sandman alone took 3 years to perfect, involving various sand experiments to accurately capture the character's shifting, granular abilities. The 2010s began with Mark Webb's The Amazing Spider-Man 2012 reboot, which also sparked an off-screen romance between stars Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Initially, Sony Pictures had started pre-production on Spider-Man 4, a direct sequel to Sam Raimi's original trilogy. The studio had renegotiated contracts with Raimi, Tobey Maguire, and Kirsten Dunst for a new trilogy. However, with production costs exceeding $100 million, tensions between Raimi, Maguire, and the studio grew, particularly due to Raimi's dissatisfaction with the script. Ultimately, Sony decided to scrap Spider-Man 4 and reboot the series with a fresh cast and direction. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, 2014 was intended to be the second installment of a trilogy, but its commercial and critical failure led Sony to cancel the project before the third film was even filmed. One of Spider-Man's most iconic characters, the comically cantankerous news editor J. Jonah Jameson, is mentioned several times in the film but never makes an appearance. The filmmakers admitted they couldn't find an actor who could live up to J.K. Simmons' legendary portrayal of Jameson in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. Similarly, as with Sandman in Spider-Man 3, the VFX team conducted extensive research into electrical phenomena to accurately capture Electro's electrifying look on screen. Spider-Man's third iteration in the 21st century came not through his own film, but via his introduction to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Captain America: Civil War 2016. Initially, Sony Pictures declined Marvel's offer to bring Spider-Man into the MCU in exchange for a share of the profits. However, after being disappointed with the financial returns and critical reception of the Amazing Spider-Man series, Sony reconsidered and renegotiated the deal. The casting came down to two contenders, Tom Holland and Charlie Plummer. Though the decision was close, Holland ultimately landed the role, becoming the youngest actor to portray Spider-Man at just 19 years old. Tom Holland's Spider-Man finally headlined his own movie in 2017 with the release of Spider-Man: Homecoming. After the Amazing Spider-Man series failed to win over audiences, many critics found it too similar to previous Spider-Man films. Marvel decided to take a fresh approach. This time, they skipped over the origin story entirely, opting to focus on a more established, teenage Peter Parker as he navigates both high school and superhero life, giving the character a new direction within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Avengers: Infinity War 2018 marked Marvel's most ambitious crossover, with Spider-Man playing a crucial role despite only having about 7.5 minutes of screen time. Due to Tom Holland's tendency to reveal spoilers, something he had already done during Spider-Man: Homecoming, he wasn't allowed to see the full script for Infinity War. The film became a massive success, grossing over $2 billion worldwide, making it only the fourth movie in history to reach that milestone. At the time of its release, it was the second most expensive film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the second most expensive superhero movie ever made. Avengers: Endgame 2019 was the final installment of Marvel's third phase and also its longest film to date. It took the world by storm, becoming the highest-grossing movie of all time, with over $2.8 billion in box office sales. To tackle the concept of time travel, the writers consulted experts in quantum mechanics and time travel. The film's production costs are estimated to be between $350 million and $400 million, making it one of the most expensive films ever made. A sneak peek of Spider-Man: Far From Home was included in the post-credits scene added for the film's re-release, setting the stage for the next chapter in the Spider-Man saga. Spider-Man: Far From Home 2019 kicked off Marvel's fourth phase, continuing Spider-Man's story 8 months after the events of Avengers: Endgame. Interestingly, Mysterio was initially intended to be one of the villains in Sam Raimi's cancelled Spider-Man 4, but that film never came to fruition. In Far From Home, Jake Gyllenhaal is almost always seen in his full superhero costume, as it was suggested he change into different outfits to keep various secrets under wraps. This decision helped maintain the mystery surrounding his character throughout the film. Spider-Man: No Way Home 2021 marked a pivotal moment in the franchise by uniting various generations of Spider-Man lore. Following Peter Parker, played by Tom Holland, as he deals with the fallout from his identity being exposed, he seeks help from Doctor Strange. This inadvertently opens the multiverse, bringing iconic villains like Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Electro into his world. The film also features the return of former Spider-Men, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, creating a nostalgic experience for fans and exploring themes of redemption and responsibility. No Way Home achieved monumental box office success, resonating with audiences through its emotional depth and thrilling action, solidifying Spider-Man's legacy in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.